In the heart of the Vatican, a crisis unfolds. The death of Pope Francis has left the Catholic Church in turmoil. As the faithful gather to mourn, questions arise. Who will lead the Church now? Who holds the true authority? But this isn't the first time the Church has faced such a dilemma. Centuries ago, a similar crisis led to a dramatic split, with three men each claiming the papacy. This was the Western Schism, a period of division and uncertainty that nearly tore the Church apart. In the coming days, as the world watches, the question remains: who will emerge as the true Pope? In the year 1309, the papacy made a significant and controversial move. Pope Clement V, under pressure from King Philip IV of France, relocated the seat of the Catholic Church from Rome to Avignon, a city in southern France. This decision marked the beginning of what would become known as the Avignon papacy, a period during which 7 successive popes resided in Avignon rather than Rome. The reasons for this relocation were multifaceted. Political tensions between the papacy and the French monarchy played a central role. King Philip IV's influence over the papacy was substantial, and his desire to have the Pope reside within his realm led to this unprecedented move. Additionally, the political instability in Italy, particularly in Rome, made it increasingly difficult for the papacy to maintain its authority and security. Over the decades, the presence of the papacy in Avignon transformed the city. The construction of the Palais des Papes, a grand Gothic palace, symbolized the Church's wealth and power. Avignon became a hub of ecclesiastical administration, attracting scholars, artists, and pilgrims. However, this period also led to criticism. Many in Italy and beyond viewed the papacy's prolonged absence from Rome as a betrayal of its spiritual and historical roots. The situation reached a turning point in the mid-14th century. Pope Gregory XI, the seventh and last of the Avignon popes, faced mounting pressure to return the papacy to Rome. Influential figures, including the mystic and theologian Saint Catherine of Siena, fervently advocated for the Pope's return, believing that the Church's spiritual authority could only be restored by re-establishing its presence in the Eternal City. In 1377, Pope Gregory XI made the momentous decision to return to Rome. On January 17, 1377, he entered the city, ending nearly 70 years of papal residence in Avignon. This act was seen as a triumph for those who had longed for the papacy's return to its rightful place. However, the return to Rome did not bring the hoped-for stability. Shortly after his arrival, Pope Gregory XI faced unrest in the city. In May 1377, he was compelled to leave Rome temporarily due to riots and political turmoil. He sought refuge in Anagni, a town southeast of Rome, where he remained until November 1377. The challenges he faced during this period underscored the deep divisions within the Church and the complexities of re-establishing papal authority in Rome. Pope Gregory XI's return to Rome was a significant chapter in the history of the Catholic Church. It marked the end of the Avignon papacy and set the stage for the events that would lead to the Western Schism, a period of division and conflict that would challenge the very foundation of the Church. In April 1378, the conclave of cardinals gathered in Rome elected Bartolomeo Prignani as Pope Urban VI. His election was meant to restore unity to a fractured Church. But Urban VI's reign quickly descended into turmoil. His demeanor was harsh, his decisions erratic. Accusations of cruelty and mental instability began to surface. By the end of the year, a faction of cardinals, disillusioned and fearful, declared Urban's election invalid, citing coercion. They chose Robert of Geneva, who took the name Clement VII, establishing a rival papacy in Avignon. Now, 2 men claimed the papal throne. Each excommunicated the other, each asserting divine right. The Church was divided, and Europe was forced to choose sides. Decades passed, and the schism deepened. In 1409, a council convened in Pisa, aiming to resolve the conflict. Instead, it elected Alexander V, creating a third papacy. 3 men, each with a crown and a claim. The Church, once a symbol of unity, now fractured beyond repair. The question lingered: who was the true Pope? In the late 14th century, Europe found itself divided, not by borders but by belief. The Western Schism, a period from 1378 to 1417, saw rival popes in Rome and Avignon, each claiming divine authority over Christendom. This division was not merely ecclesiastical, it was deeply political, intertwining faith with national interests. The schism fractured Europe along political lines. France and its allies, including Scotland and Castile, supported the Avignon papacy, aligning themselves with Clement VII and his successors. In contrast, England, Portugal, and much of the Holy Roman Empire backed the Roman popes such as Urban VI and Boniface IX. This division was more than a theological dispute, it was a geopolitical struggle for influence and power. The papacy's loss of unity weakened its authority, leading to increased secular influence over ecclesiastical matters. Kings and nobles seized the opportunity to assert control over church lands and appointments, diminishing the church's spiritual and temporal power. Imagine a world where the moral and spiritual guidance of the church is compromised by political allegiances. In this environment, rulers used the papacy to legitimize their authority, while the faithful were left to navigate a divided and conflicting religious landscape. The schism also paved the way for reform movements. Critics of the Church, emboldened by the division, began to question its practices and doctrines, setting the stage for the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century. The Western Schism was not just a religious crisis. It was a profound political upheaval that reshaped the landscape of medieval Europe, leaving a legacy that would influence the course of history for centuries to come. In the year 1417, the Council of Constance concluded its deliberations, bringing an end to decades of division within the Catholic Church. The remaining papal claimants were deposed or resigned, and a new pope was elected, restoring unity to Christendom. On November 11, 1417, Cardinal Oddone Colonna was elected pope and took the name Martin V. His election was a significant moment in church history, marking the end of the Western Schism. Pope Martin V's ascension to the papacy was a pivotal event that brought stability and unity to the Church after a prolonged period of division. The resolution of the Western Schism had profound implications for the Catholic Church and its followers. It restored a single, recognized papal authority, which had been fractured by competing claims to the papacy. This restoration of unity was crucial for the Church's spiritual and administrative coherence. In the years following the resolution, Pope Martin V worked to consolidate the Church's authority and address the issues that had led to the schism. His efforts laid the groundwork for future reforms and set the stage for a more unified and stable Catholic Church in the years to come. The resolution of the Western Schism serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by institutions in maintaining unity and coherence. It underscores the importance of leadership and the need for effective governance in preserving the integrity of an institution. As the echoes of the Council of Constance faded, the Catholic Church emerged with a semblance of unity, yet the scars of the Western Schism remained, deeply etched into the fabric of its history. The schism had revealed the fragility of ecclesiastical authority when subjected to political machinations. It underscored the peril of a church divided, not only in doctrine but in purpose. The question of legitimacy had been contested, and the reverberations were felt across Europe. In the centuries that followed, the Church would grapple with the consequences of this division. The Reformation, a movement that questioned papal authority, found fertile ground in the disillusionment sowed by the schism. The seeds of reform were planted, and the landscape of Christianity was irrevocably altered. But what if the Church had remained united? What if the schism had never occurred? Would the course of history have been different? Could the Reformation have been averted? These questions linger, challenging us to reflect on the nature of authority, unity, and the forces that shape our institutions. If this exploration into a pivotal moment in history has sparked your curiosity, consider subscribing for more in-depth documentaries. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think the Western Schism has influenced the Church today?